Do you want to get a variety of unique tones like this? Impulse responses are a great way to get there. Hey guys, Joey here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make your own impulse responses to use in your mixes. IRs are an incredible tool for getting consistent tones during a mix. An impulse response, or IR for short, is a profile of any system's reaction to a full frequency tone. That sounds pretty complicated, but as far as a guitar is concerned, it's basically your cabinet's frequency curve. An impulse response is super useful when you have a direct tone and when you need to make it sound like an existing guitar tone in your mix. Let's say you just finished tracking with a band that wanted to use their gear. Halfway through the mixing, you realize that there's a mistake that needs to be re-recorded, but the band has already left. If you just have them send you a DI recording of the part and use whatever amp to process it, it might sound totally different and weird in the mix. Using a profile of the cab that you used can get your tone way closer to the original. Now that you understand what an IR is, let's make one. There are a few things you're going to need here: an interface with at least a few inputs and outputs, a flat solid-state power amp, a cab, and a mic. You're going to have your DAW sending an output through the interface into the power amp and then into the cab. Then you've got your mic on the cab going back into the interface and armed to record in your DAW. In the DAW, start with two tracks. One will be the record track for the cab and one will be a white noise sample. Use your DAW's signal generator to create a short blip of white noise. If you don't know how to do that, you can also download a white noise sample from the internet. Cut the white noise down to one sample length. Make sure that you grab a selection where the white noise waveform is above the 0 line. Normalize the peak of the waveform to about -6 dB. This is so that we have a loud enough signal to get away from the noise floor of the interface. Now, once the sample is cut and normalized, it's time to record. Make sure you disable any plugins on your track or master bus. We want this sample as clean as possible. Arm your cab track to record and play back the white noise sample. It should sound like this. Awesome. Now we can normalize this sample to create our impulse response. Zoom in and cut right at the start of the waveform. Export the sample and try it out. I'm going to use JST Toneforge Jeff Loomis to try out this on a DI track. Go to the cab section and select impulse response. Load the sample that we just created and let's compare it to the original. That's super close. If you needed it even closer, you could try EQ matching, but that's a topic for another video. Now we've got the ability to record new takes and get it super close to the original. This allows for way more flexibility with retracking and reamping, and could potentially save a project. If you use different cabs on different sections, you'll have to go through this whole process each time. Definitely make sure to capture impulse responses during the recording process so that your impulses will be exactly like you recorded it. Let's say you don't have a power amp or a cab to create an impulse response with, but you still want a great impulse response in your mix. Luckily, we just released an impulse response pack called Anvil with Joel Wanasek. It's super easy to get a great tone. I'll show you how. Now that you know how complicated and precise the IR creation process is, let me show you how to handle IRs in a mix. Just like before, I'm going to go to the cab section and select impulse response, then just scroll through a few. These IRs are custom built by our team and Joel Wanasek to be album ready right off the bat. That makes it super easy to get an immediately usable tone. If you want to mess with having different cabs on the left and right guitar, this is where this tool really shines. It's as easy as just loading a different impulse response. In just seconds, we were able to create a killer tone without having to go through the tedious impulse response creation process. Try these out in your own mixes. Now, let's recap. By running white noise through a cab and recording it, we were able to get a very accurate profile of that cab to use in future mixes. Then we applied this process with a pack of mix-ready IRs and got the guitars ready to mix in seconds. Have you ever recorded your own impulse responses? What are some cool mic and cab combinations that you've recorded? Let me know in the comments below. If you're interested in our Anvil IR pack, make sure to check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tap the bell to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Until next time, happy mixing.